Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here to the Wright County Conference Honor Band and Under Choir Concerts. My name is Lee Peterson. I am the high school band director here in Annandale, and it has been a joy to host this Honor Band and Choir Festival for the last 2 years. It has been really fun to listen to these kids practice today. I unfortunately didn't get to hear a lot of it, but I heard bits and pieces, and just to see the enjoyment on their faces throughout all of the rehearsals has been just great. It is my pleasure to introduce to you in a little bit here the conductor for this honor band, and he is a man that comes from Gustavus, and I'm a Gusty, go Gusties. I unfortunately did not have the opportunity to work with him. I'm a little older than he is, so he wasn't there yet when I was there. But I really had a great day speaking with him and watching the interactions that he has had with these students. So please help me welcome, I'm sorry, I forgot an announcement. In the program, the Courtly Airs and Dances, that tune has 4 movements in it. So if you could please hold your applause till the end of the 4th movement, we'd really appreciate that. Now, without further ado, please help me welcome the conductor of the Wright County Conference Honor Band, Dr. James Patrick Miller.
Well, good afternoon. What an honor it is for me to be here and to have the opportunity to make music with these students. These festivals, especially the ones that go in one day, they happen so quickly, but it is so rewarding and so intense musically. It's been a joyful day, and the work that they've put in to be able to play a piece like that in that short amount of rehearsal at that level is an extraordinary testament to the kind of teaching that's going on here in this county. So that first piece by Ron Nelson was a setting of 4 Baroque dances, refracted through a more contemporary lens. We talked a lot about the style in those specific dances. The next piece we're going to play for you, which really is, I suppose you'd consider it the kind of center locus of our program, is something very different from what we opened with, this joyful fanfare type of dance music. It was about 20 years ago when I was in Chicago at a conference. I had the opportunity to hear the world premiere of this next piece, a piece by a dear friend of mine, Frank Kelly, called An American Elegy. Frank was commissioned to write an American elegy in memory of the students who were killed in Columbine High School in 1999. None of the students on this stage were alive when that happened. But I remember that performance, the premiere of this piece. I remember there being 3 empty chairs on stage. And never in my life have I stood and applauded longer than the some 3,000-4,000 people that were at that concert applauded for the Columbine High School band as they played a piece just less than a year after that horrible tragedy. Mr. Kelly wrote this piece, and it was supposed to be a way to close the book artistically on something that was so clearly never happen again, that was so unthinkably unimaginable, that he felt like he needed to express something musically. Of course, we know that that's not how history has gone in the last 2 decades. Not 3 weeks ago, I was in Chicago again for that same conference. And I was sitting in the audience for a concert of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Band. And my friend Alex Kaminsky, their conductor, they're from Parkland, Florida. And the same thing. Thousands of people standing for minutes after minutes after minutes, cheering for those kids that had gone through something that is so unthinkably horrible and unimaginable that it is an absolute atrocity that our society can even find ways to allow to happen, frankly. And the only thing that I could think about when I was sitting there in that audience was that 20 years had gone by and it wasn't any different. And so what Mr. Kelly did when he created this piece, I think, is he did what art always does, one of its primary missions, one of the things that is most important for us as musicians, and that is to hold a mirror up to society and show them what their weaknesses are, to reflect upon what we can improve on. You'll find this piece to be austerely beautiful. And I think that each time we go through a tragedy like that, the music carries more and more poignant meaning. I'm a dad of 2 little girls. And I know many of you are parents and grandparents and friends of all the students that are here in the choir and the band. And I think I can speak for every single one of us, and that's probably that every single one of us has at least at some point imagined it, thought about it, worried about it. Progress doesn't happen when you sit around and wait for it. This is an American elegy in memory of the children killed in Columbine High School. difficult to program something after a piece like that. This next work is simple and beautiful, and I think a perfect pairing in that it's about life. And the piece depicts the oldest living that the Japanese dynasties are aware of, the oldest living bonsai tree, which has meticulously been taken care of every day since 1604. It's only about that big. And every day there's a log of who's been taking care of it and preserving its beauty and its life. This piece is also by a beautiful friend of mine, Julie Giroux, and it's a gorgeous setting of a simple work about life. This is the bonsai tree. There's a stone tablet on a mountain somewhere that says if you're going to have a band concert, you have to play Sousa. Before we do that, I just want to take my opportunity to thank the teachers, the directors in this county for sharing their students for putting their faith in me to be here to share with them in a day of what has been phenomenal music making. These are some beautiful human beings, and they spent a day working really hard and getting into some music that approached some very complex emotional depth. And I'm extraordinarily proud of them, and I hope that you are too. It has been a joy and an honor for me to be here. And so thank you for having me, to the directors here in the county, and thank you to all of you for what you do supporting them. It's not easy to drive kids to and from lessons and into rehearsals, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, literally actually over here. It takes a lot of work, right? Being a parent is hard. It seems to get more complex every day. And my 3-year-old is still 3, more and more so every day. It's just been a beautiful day with him. I'm so appreciative for all of you. Thank you for what you've done. Like I said, we're going to leave you with a Sousa march. We've talked a lot about style in this, and something you may not know about Sousa, and I'll just plant this seed as you listen to it, because you may hear some things a little differently. John Philip Sousa did not want to write marches. In fact, he wrote them to support what he really wanted to do in his musical and artistic career. He wanted to write opera. There was a problem. He was really bad at it. The music actually is quite convincing. John Philip Sousa, next to Mozart, is one of the greatest melodicists that has ever lived. His melodies are truly memorable and inspiring. His issue in writing opera was that he also tried to write his own libretto, and they are really bad. So what he did is he took all the music from his failed operas, sped them up, added percussion, and turned them into marches. And many of the 136 marches of John Philip Sousa that we have first started as opera arias and choruses. And so we've interpreted a lot of traditional classic and romantic opera articulation into the performance of Sousa. This is one that you're going to recognize right away, if you don't know it by heart already, the Washington Post.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Michael Selheim. I'm the choir director here at Annandale. I teach grades 7 through 12. And it's been my amazing opportunity to be collaborative with the person that I'm going to introduce. Dr. Lee Nelson teaches at Wartburg College, and he's a Concordia alumnus, just like myself. Go Cowboys. Since we talked about Gustavus, I better put it in. Dr. Nelson and I actually spent 3 years together at Concordia, and so I've got lots of dirt on him. And I'm not going to say it because he can come out and tell me a lot of dirt on me. So, but it's been a wonderful opportunity to have one of my best friends come and work with these kids. These kids have been amazing workers today. They've put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, and I'm so excited to show you guys what we've been up to all day. It's been quite the journey. The beginning few rehearsals were fun, really interesting, and now at the end of the day, they're just rocking everything. I'm so excited for you guys to hear this. So, without further ado, this is Dr. Lee Nelson.
Students in both the band and the choir. What a moving performance by the band. Thank you for that. We're going to do a slight change in the program here. We're going to flip-flop the next two songs. We're going to sing Family Song followed by Old Love. And the whole concert, the choral portion of the concert is based off of the last concert, which comes out of The Greatest Showman, a wonderful movie that was out. And it takes us sort of from dark to light. And we're going to go into the darkness here with Famine Song, which talks about the great famine in the 80s that happened over in Africa, actually in Sudan. What happened was children were dying because of the lack of water. Animals were dying. The entire country was simply just in shambles. And the women from the different villages started to come together. As I told the choir, sort of like the way my mom and their probably grandmothers would quilt, where they'd come together and make quilts for people, but it wasn't necessarily the end result. It was the communication and the fellowship that they shared as they were making these quilts together, in which they shared their joys and their pains. Well, that's what happens in this song. It's basket weaving, that they weave these baskets together, praying, hoping for the rain to come to capture the rain. The baskets that then were used in turn to reinvigorate the economy and sold the baskets to other people. And the piece ends with praying to actually hear the rain begin to fall from the sky. That moves into Elaine Hagenberg's beautiful setting of Old Love, That Will Not Let Me Go, which talks about tracing the rainbow through the rain, finding joy and our deepest pain, our deepest sorrow. Hope you enjoy it.
these keywords with a number of soloists, which may tell you who they are. In Famine Song, our soloists are Sarah Brandon, we have Maddie Haas, Elise Peterson, and Joseph Coliani as our soloists in Famine Song. And this piece has two soloists. You heard two in feminine song that provided an improvisation. You're going to hear another improvisation here. And we have on this piece Emma Jordahl will be singing her first solo, and Amy Ilka will be improvising the second solo. And this piece that celebrates the joy that we just found in old love, that seeks me through the pain. Right? We hope you enjoy. Let everything that hath breath praise the Lord.
Made a great closer. We got one song for you. I just want to say thank you to everybody coming out to support your children, your grandchildren, your friends, your aunts, nephews, uncles, whoever's here for you. I also want to say a big thank you to James Patrick Miller, wherever he is. Did he leave? No. He's up in the There he is. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much. The band was amazing. I want to say thanks one more time to Dr. Lee Nelson. And I just want to mention after we're all done, please greet your kids out in the commons. We're going to have some cookies and we're going to have some punch out there. It's a much better spot to grab your kids rather than the lobby area because it's just so tiny. So please greet your kids out in the commons. Thank you again so much. And we're going to end with This Is Him, and you can do that.
I also want to echo Dr. Miller's comments and thank the teachers, because this would not have happened without them. So all the teachers, anytime you get back to this part of the state, this is sort of the mecca. The whole nation looks to the Midwest, but in particular into Minnesota for what we're doing with music education. I worked in Arizona. I went to grad school in Arizona. My wife's a 25-year-long elementary music teacher, and when she moved down there, she worked for the third largest school district in Arizona. 87,000 students in the Tucson Unified School District. There were 82 elementaries, I believe. She thought, well, there's got to be a job for me while I'm down there. She went down there, and there were 0 jobs open because they had cut music in the program in the 90s. So here we have 82 elementary schools, no music in it. They cut FIAD, they cut the computers, they cut library sciences, all of that due to budget cuts in there. My wife got lucky enough because a grassroots group of people said we need to write a grant to bring back music into the program. So they put it into 10 inner city schools in which almost none of the students spoke English. It was almost all completely Spanish-speaking students in Tucson. And my wife, this German Lutheran from South Dakota, there we go. It was probably one of the most difficult and most rewarding jobs she's ever been part of. And where did they look to model what education is all about? They went to the Midwest. They looked at what they're doing here in Minnesota, and Iowa, and the Dakotas, and Wisconsin. This is where it's at. It's because of you and your support of these folks. Continue to do that. This is, as Dr. Miller said, this is the mirror of what society, what's happening in the world around us, dating all the way back to as early as we can go into today, as we heard in all these groups. So a huge thanks. Let's have the students give a huge round of applause to them. And we close with This Is Me, that talks about those who are bullied, disenfranchised, that feel like they don't have a place in this world. And they say, you know what, I'm okay in who I am, in the skin that I'm at, and I'm going to give thanks for that. And you hear that with these amazing singers and these soloists. Katie Kassendorf and Nick Drilling will be our soloists on This Is Me. Thank you again for coming.
This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum.
flood, gonna drown him out. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is